Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Today we were just running through some news and notes for you guys. We're going to start off with the Atlanta Falcons. They had a big day with some of their moves. Obviously, they went Michael Penix with their top 10 pick. I think this was like fourth or fifth year having a top 10 pick and going offense. So obviously that turned a lot of heads with Kirk Cousins getting about 100 mil, a lot of that being guaranteed money. And then you had their option to take the best defensive player available on their board, and they opted to get Michael Penix, who's pretty already. He's an older quarterback. He was in the league. He was playing college football for a long time. He's ready to go, but it seems like they're addressing that defense position with some of these moves. They just scooped up Justin Simmons. So you pair him with Jesse Bates. They probably have a top 3 safety duo in the league, or the best, true. And then they just traded for Matthew Judon. I think they gave up a third rounder for him also.
They gave up a third-round pick, 2025, third-round pick for Matthew Judon. And basically looks like what they're doing this year is they're going for it. They probably looked at their roster. They looked at the team the roster that they built and the personnel that they have. They looked at probably their division as a whole and realized that the only other threat in the division outside of them is the Buccaneers. And
you don't like the Saints, yo? Saints were in
the Saints. The thing about that division is that everybody's going to probably be in the mix until week 16, 17.
Besides the Panthers, probably.
Right. And probably, obviously, the Panthers would probably be fourth place in that division, but still wouldn't be surprised if they played upset and they won a few games, ended up winning about 6 games this year. But the way that the division for Atlanta is looking like they can take it. And everybody was in an uproar 4 months back when they selected Michael Penix with that first round pick. Does it matter now? He's already on the team. They got one of the best defensive players that was available in Matthew Judon. He's a pass rusher, and he's still young, fairly young. And then now they have one of the best safeties in the NFL and Justin Simmons on their team. So the reason a lot of Falcon fans or fans in general were upset with the pick was because they were looking for them to select maybe one of the best defensive players on the board at that time. And they decided to go with a franchise quarterback, of their potential franchise quarterback, while they already had signed Kirk Cousins to a $180 million deal with 2 years of that guaranteed. I think that the Atlanta Falcons GMs and their player personnel is killing it right now. I mean, wants to complain, but they have the most important positions in the NFL locked up, and they even got some fun positions locked up. I mean, tight end locked up. They got one of the best running backs in the NFL locked up. So it'd be a fun team to watch. The defense was the only thing maybe people had some complaints about, but now they've solidified a bookend defensive end pass rusher, and they've also solidified the back end when they already had Jesse Bates to solidify that. So I'm excited to see what Atlanta has in store for this year, and I'm excited for Raheem Morris to have a good team to coach.
Yeah, on top of that safety duo, they have a top 10 corner in AJ Terrell. So I think they have like a piece in every level of that defense now. Now, you said that you think that all the important positions, loaded, ready to go. I agree that it's, seem to be all in, and a lot of that has to do with their division. But do you think they're good enough in the trenches?
Oh, absolutely. They have one of the best. So their offensive line actually didn't even play to the level that they could play at. They have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. And like in terms of the talent of the offensive line and in terms of the resources that they've put towards their offensive line. Last year, they selected early in the second round. I want to say his name was Alex Bergeron. Was that his name? I think he's like a right guard, but he can also kick out the tackle.
I'm pulling up their depth chart. Let me share.
Yeah, not sharing. Oh, I think they can see. Yeah, I think they can see right now.
All right, smooth.
Yeah. Bergeron, yeah. He was a rookie last year. So now he's going to be his second year playing. They got bookends at left and right tackle. They have one of the best right guards in the league. He was even actually graded out as the best right guard in the league, and Chris Lindstrom. So when it comes to the trenches, they actually are built for all of this. Like I said, they have talent on every single level of the field. Isn't fantasy football talk show today or whatever. But when it comes to Drake London, I mean, and think about the projections that he has when you're using some of these models, you would be surprised where Drake London is at in regards to some of the wide receiver ranking. Granted, this is projections based off of what he's done and based off the potential of how they're going to throw the ball now this year. But I mean, see that Jay Jettis has been a 1,300-yard receiver his first 3 years in the NFL. And you see all the plays that he makes, even when he's double teamed, and all the target shares that he gets. And you look at Drake London and you see that he's a solid XY receiver. You kind of think to yourself, like, why couldn't he get 1,400 yards this year? Why couldn't he get 8 to 10 touchdowns this year with Kirk Cousins throwing him the ball? Or if something bad happens to Kirk Cousins, they get Michael Penix in, and, you know, it's like, hey, target your guy. Worst case scenario, just target your guy. So I think the Falcons are really set up to make a run this year, and I definitely think they're set up to make a run in their division. And once you get to the playoffs, anything can happen. So I'm excited for the Atlanta Falcons this year.
So, well, I guess with the hindsight, would you still give Cousins that bread, or would you, sign Christian Wilkins instead if hey, have an easy shot at Penix regardless?
When you won, they didn't know they had an easy shot at Penix. You know what I mean? That's a hindsight 2020. Okay. All right. Someone could have traded up for Penix. There was everybody saying that someone wants to trade to 5th. Everybody wants to trade up to 3 for JJ McCarthy. You know what I mean? Like the draft. And they did something that was kind of the ordinary and shocked people because they didn't think that guy would be there. And they selected their guy for the future, which I don't hate. If you've been living without a quarterback for the past 3-4 years, all your resources at quarterback. I want Kirk Cousins. And then you know what? If there's going to be a quarterback that I believe is a franchise quarterback and he's going to be able to be a good quarterback for my team for the next 10 years after these next 3, why not? I mean, all what happened with Jordan Love, and he turned out to ascend, and now at the moment he's one of the highest. He is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and it's going to work out for them. I don't see anything but up when I talk about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers and that offense. And if the GM for the Atlanta Falcons felt the same way, you take quarterback, man. You don't know when you're going to be up there. They're not going to be up at 8 anymore. Not if Kirk Cousins is healthy. Not with this offense, and now with what they have on defense, they're not drafting at 8. They're not. So when you have a chance to get your franchise quarterback, if you believe he's a franchise quarterback, you got to do it.
Nah, I mean, but I feel like you're giving that front office too much credit. The way I see it, what they did was they were just indecisive. They gave a contract, but they were indecisive what they're going to do with that pick. Because now, I mean, you always say, and I guess it's just speculation, like we'll actually know what was going on in that building and what they were thinking. But to me, it was indecisiveness. I don't think it was really that great of a move. If they wanted somebody like stable to, Penix to shadow and somebody competent there, why not opt for somebody cheaper?
But you're assuming that they're getting Penix, and in the NFL draft, you just can't do that. They're happy that
but we can think about percentage wise. There was probably over a 90% chance he was going to be there, though. Like that's just the fact of the matter.
Okay. First, I mean, I'm saying that if
third,
anybody,
4th, 5th, 6th, and then 7th, obviously they believe in Will Levis. 8th, were they 8th?
They were the 8th.
They were 8th, right?
Right.
Who would? I mean, everybody could have traded up.
You could have traded up. That's what I'm saying. Like that's when it comes to the NFL draft, you don't know what everybody else is doing, and we can't assume, oh yeah, this guy's going to drop to us. You just can't draft like that.
Realistically, as a Giants fan, I know what our mindset was with that pick. I'm not sure what the Titans were thinking, but I know they weren't thinking quarterback. So I guess that's a trade up situation. But
you don't know. But don't know.
But we the information that we have.
They had a new the information that was leaking is bullshit.
No draft capital. No draft capital, right? To really trade up and do much. So really, you're only looking at the Vikings,
right?
Really,
and it's just like again, if you're not in conversation with that organization. And you don't know what anybody else is thinking, because what if you're saying that you got your ear to the New York Giants, but what if Atlanta doesn't know what New York is thinking about, and New York's like, you know what? I think we want to get a franchise quarterback here at 3. and they select Penix.
6.
And it's like or 6, yeah, and they select Penix. Would have been the 4th quarterback off the board at that time, right? Okay, so now it's like now we got to go another season without a quarterback, or we got to draft Bo Nix. It's like you can't, and then now also remember free agency, March. Free agency is in March. They're not trying to take no flyers. They want a solid QB. They got to see what the players they have. They got skilled players at wide receiver.
Just did though.
And
they could have took Rattler. They could have took Rattler in the 4th. Rattler in the 4th.
No,
he got picked in the 5th.
I mean, look. We don't gotta get on like on it. If they felt like that's a franchise quarterback, you take the guy. I don't know if anybody thinks that Spencer Rattler is a franchise quarterback. I don't know if anybody thinks that any of these other players, but that guy, they targeted him and he was there. He was available. They didn't know in March if he was going to be available for them. So they made a decision in March that maybe might have bit the ass in April or early May, but now is August. And that shit does not matter. And if anything happens to Kirk Cousins,
that's my point. Now,
if anything happens, though, they have a solid backup. And even if everything goes perfect for this year, and Kirk Cousins plays in every single game, and next year something happens with Kirk Cousins, they still got this guy. They got this for the next 5 years. Kirk Cousins ain't playing football for the next 5 years. So they did what they decided to do. And again, I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying that's how I would use my capital.
You can't sit the fence. So 180 mil.
Bro, I'm just saying what's true. I'm just saying what the GM said. I don't give my opinion. I don't give my opinion. I'm saying what the GM said, and like at the end of the day, today, August 15th, that's not an issue, bro. Not an issue. That pick is not an issue.
I'm not saying it's an issue. I just think it's just bad roster management. Like, and I don't really see how I could like look at it any differently. It's never comes to a franchise QB. And if they believe that that's a franchise QB, it has nothing to do with drafting Penix. I think Penix was worth the 8th pick. But if you're doing this percentages, right? You're doing this shit by statistics. What are the chances? Chances are we weren't going to take Penix. Like I said months ago, we can't trade up for May, take the best receiver available. That's exactly what Hard Knocks showed. Then when it came to the Titans, they're clearly going to go O-line. Like there's certain things that like it doesn't need to be Williams being taken first or a quarterback being taken second for you to make a judgment call like, all right, yeah, this guy's definitely going to be available. And it's not 100% guaranteed. But if they really covering your ass with 180 mil is just kind of crazy to me. Like that's basically what you're saying. It's like,
they were tired of look. You no, right? Okay, no. You don't like right. They have not liked their situation for longer than you haven't liked yours. So they decided this year.
I don't think that's true. They were cool with Matt Ryan around that time. I think the situation. Yeah,
so, but for the past 3 years, for like their quarterback situation, for the past few years, the chances to take shots in free agent to get Lamar Jackson, they didn't. They had shots to get some of these rookie quarterbacks in 2021. They didn't. They decided to go with Kyle Pitts. They could have got Justin Fields. They did all these things. This was the year that they decided, you know what? We're not going to waste the season because they had to watch what's his name? Desmond Ridder play football, and would you say Taylor Heineke play football? Right. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
I feel it's scarred to the point where it's like, they don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. So yes, they overcompensated, but at the end of the day, they overcompensated because they didn't know the draft is unpredictable, and like percentages are the percentages, but the draft is unpredictable. I talk to you all the time about I thank God that we got CeeDee Lamb. And AJ Terrell is part of that because at 16, the Falcons could have selected CeeDee Lamb, and instead they went with what they needed, and that was a cornerback. Lucky for them, that's a top 10 quarterback. Lucky for them, that's a top 10 corner. The top,
right? But
I feel like this year's top
10. Let me get nothing to do with. I had nothing to do with this draft. All I'm saying is that we never predicted that we would be able to that CeeDee Lamb was going to fall to us. We never predicted that. In our numbers and all of that shit, there was never a way that CeeDee Lamb is 17, and somehow he did. And I just want to say thank you to the Atlanta Falcons for making sure that he did, because that's where he could have went. He could have went at 16, could have went at 9. But sometimes the draft is unpredictable like that, bro. And if it's a guy that you think is a franchise quarterback, you can't play with it. You can.
I understand what you're saying with the CD thing, but that still is a mid-round. Like the draft gets harder to predict as the draft goes on. But I feel like the first 7 picks, you know how it's usually like start till this. Like the draft, like when Trevor Lawrence got drafted, the draft doesn't start until the Jets, because who are the Jets going to pick? Whatever. Or maybe it was the 3rd pick, because I think it was kind of locked and loaded that they were going to go with Zach Wilson. But I feel like with this draft, it damn near really didn't kick off until the Chargers. It was like, what are the Chargers going to do? Are they going to go linemen, or are they going to go ahead and select Neighbors or Dunze? You know what I mean? With the that Marvin Harrison was definitely going to be a Cardinal. We thought 2nd and 3rd, first one.
You thought the trade up to 5 to get JJ McCarthy.
I thought if they were going to, yeah. I thought that was a possibility.
No, you thought that's what they was doing. You thought that's why they got.
Man, I thought it was a possibility, man. Until what was the tidbit they gave me about how they even traded with the Texans? Like it wasn't even their idea.
Reached out the Texans for the pick.
Yeah. Just put my sword in the ground, and I was just dying on that hill for weeks on end. And I was like, wow, the trade didn't happen. That's not what happened. I did think that was a heavy possibility. That conversation was more so, look, if they're going to trade, they're not going to trade. Forget it. Whatever. Falcons, shout out to them. They,
good for the Falcons, man.
Is looking pretty legit. I coming out that division. I just don't think the Bucs are going to repeat. I don't think they made enough moves to repeat. And I think, another year of Baker and the Saints shit show. So that's a good bet. I might have to add that to my.
Yeah, and at the same time though, maybe we shouldn't sleep on Bucs, because they found a way to pull out last year. I don't know how. I don't know it. They found a way to pull it out. So shout out to the champs. Also playoff winners. Beat the Eagles. So I guess now, what do you want to go on and break down the wide receiver carousel that we're dealing with the Premier League at the position?
Yeah, well, let's get us with the 49ers and what they got going on, and with Brandon Aiyuk and the rest of their cast, injury bug going through them kind of crazy right now.
So regardless of the Brandon Aiyuk thing, it's a saga that 49ers are just kind of letting it play out. He feels some type of way, and he feels like he deserves a certain number. He wants that number, but at the same time, he's not thinking logistically. He has emotions, and they're kind of letting him work himself. They're like, okay, you want to trade? All right, well, here we're going to present you with your trade offers, your options. These are the places you can go. You want to go to the Patriots, where you don't trust quarterback over there, you don't trust the offense over there, you don't trust if you're going to be on a winning football team. All right, cool.
Definitely not making it out of that division.
You want to go to, if you're not having fun, and you want to show your talents and show that you're a 1,700-yard wide receiver and double-digit touchdown guy, how that in Pittsburgh? You know what I mean?
Go see there.
You're right. You know that author for Pittsburgh. We just talked to Rick London and how he had a down season of 900 yards and probably, I think, like 4 touchdowns. He had like targets. He had like 100 targets. A place where they're not going to target you to where you think you should be targeted anywhere between 120 to 150 times a year. You think they're going to do that with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields respectfully at quarterback? No, it's going to be a run heavy scheme. And I get it, but at least now you're in a run heavy scheme. And if you have a game with only 2 receptions for 50 yards, you won, your ass. Like, all right, so you want to go here for the number, but then whole time Pittsburgh ain't about to break the bank for you. This is Pittsburgh. What you think? We about to spend $30 million for a wide receiver? Come on, buddy. Our whole thing is defense. Even when we had Antonio Brown, we were still throwing money at defense. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, let's sit down and really think about this, Brandon Aiyuk. What's the best decision for you? Dancing with the devil you already know, or going somewhere else and finding a new beast? Because it's like, bro, this is not, it's not going to end up pretty for him. And at the end of the day, he knows that the right to sign in with San Fran or playing out his contract and waiting until he becomes a free agent. But San Francisco is a talented football team that's getting ready to compete for a Super Bowl. They're going to contend for. They're going to be Super Bowl contenders. They have one of the best offenses in the NFL. They have one of the best defenses in the NFL. They have one of the best coaches in the NFL, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. So you can leave us, but you're leaving because your pride. You got your pride hurt. Head is tech between your ass, and you don't want to go back into the locker room and say, "Damn, yeah, I was acting real goofy for the last 3 months," because that's really all it is. Is he's been the locker room, and I think that they're going to probably accept him because they understand that this is a business and he just want to get paid. But does he have enough pride to say, like, damn, okay, I need it. This is where I'm supposed to be at. This is not, and again, like Cowboys is dealing with the same CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb isn't showing his ass off because he wants to be with Dallas. He wants to play in Dallas. He wants to be, Dallas made him 8s. He's 8s. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to wear number 10, but he calls himself 8s now. Even when he was mad at the Cowboys, he took America's team off his profile and put 8s. Motherfucker, you 88. Jerry Jones made you 88. This is the thing he loves. So that's going to get fixed, going to get solved. But it's like Brandon Aiyuk just put this huge show on. And at the end of the day, the best offer that they would have got was to be able to get the 3 and the 5 back from Cleveland along with Amari Cooper, which would have made them one of the deadliest teams in the NFL, honestly. Amari Cooper in that offense would just be it would be brutal for everybody that had to face them. And yeah, I think that this saga is coming down to the fact that whatever Pittsburgh is offering, which is probably under $30 million a year, I would go as far as probably anywhere between like 27, 28. I think that San Fran's like, buddy, we're going to match that, or we're going to get somewhere close to it in regards to the parameters of the contract. And you're going to stay with us, and we're going to contend for the Super Bowl. You know that's the best to make you and your people. Let's just make this decision and let bygones be bygones.
Nah, facts. I haven't heard you speak that bad, but nah, for sure. I mean, I agree with all that. I think it's a timing thing, and let's look at it with all the different principles, the different things that, you know, these high-level receivers or anyone at position is looking for. They're looking at the money, location. They're looking at their opportunities there, length of contract, the winning team, all that stuff. And in terms of all the options, it's like, bro, it's like a pride thing. It's like they're just trying to put table like, nah, this is what extra mil or two is really worth not playing for the 49ers. You guys are a overtime away from being champions. Would you be making and I actually I want to know your opinion on. Think he'd be moving like this if they won the Super Bowl, which is very close.
Yeah,
I think he'd be moving like this.
I think he'd be moving even crazier because he already got his ring, so he can just go get the money. He only going to be worried about the money because he got his ring. The one thing that San Fran we didn't even it's going to be cold as hell playing out Pittsburgh, dog. And cold as hell.
I mean, all the places that are giving them offers, New England. Cold as shit.
Yeah, he don't want to go there. He don't want to go to none of those places.
Isn't Brandon Aiyuk from California?
He might be. I know he went to a JUCO. He went to Arizona State University, so he could possibly be out that way. But from out that way.
He's from Rockland, Cali. He went to Sierra College and Arizona State. Man, you don't want to be playing in these cold weather. Nah, man. They're gonna smack that man. He gonna
line up against a DB, and the DB gonna smack his hands. He gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not playing in this cold." When Pittsburgh in October, November, when? Oh no.
And then look at the competition in those divisions, right? With Pittsburgh or Cleveland, they're in the same division, but you got to play those teams with some defensive masterminds. The Harbaugh, Tomlin, you know what I mean? And then you have the Browns. If you Steelers, you got to deal with that Browns defense. You know what I mean? You got to deal with Myles Garrett rushing your quarterback. And do you even like your quarterback on Pittsburgh? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Right.
It's the timing thing. And to the 49ers, you have that Brandon Aiyuk and his team has to put themselves in the 49ers camp shoes. What's a third and a fifth really going for us right now?
Well, it's August. Remember when I had to break that joke down to you when it came to T. Higgins, and you're like, "Oh, T. Higgins, he wants to trade. He had to trade because I was like, bro, that don't mean that. It doesn't mean anything. They need him to win. They need him to win.
NBA, my boy.
It's like
NBA.
Like a second round pick. T. Higgins isn't going to do anything for this year's Cincinnati Bengals team. It's just not. It's not going to do anything.
All that before the time I checked, the draft was in April. You're doing, but even the shit right now.
Even right. So if they were going to do it, they would have did it before the draft so that they could still select and move and have these assets to compete. That would be able to compete football team this year. They're not going to do that. Future assets means nothing to the football team that has a chance to contend for a Super Bowl this year. And it's like, we're not going to trade you. That's why, if they were able to get Amari Cooper, swap out Amari Cooper for Brandon Aiyuk, that would have been amazing for him. That would have been one. That would have been executive of the year type for them to get a 3-5 and swap out for Amari Cooper, who's already agreed to like a $25 or a $27 million deal for this season. Like, we're good. And we're going to go run.
That would have been smooth. Didn't Brandon Aiyuk say he didn't want to play for Cleveland or something like that?
Probably didn't want to play.
I think he wants the Steelers, but then it's like, and then he wanted to play with Jaden Daniels, but it's like,
right, but
they're set over there. This isn't Madden where you just get to do what you want because I play with him. That's my boy. All right, cool, bro. This is the league.
The 49ers. The thing with 49ers is that they understand. They're not saying that value Brandon Aiyuk. They're just saying, we can't. This is the number that we got for you. We're gonna work with you. No, you're not 35 mil though. You're not 32.5 mil. I think because of the wide receiver market, he had an argument for making 30 mil annually, but I could see them trying to come in at around 27, 28 and figuring it out that way. And, I understand why Brandon Aiyuk is upset. I'm in the same draft class as Jay Jettas. I'm in the same class as these boys, and these boys are touching 32, at least 35. And now Tyreek has the most guaranteed money at like 70 mil or something like that. So I see the wide receiver numbers. I want my fair compensation, but he's not fair compensation can still be 28 mil, 27 mil. As long as they're not on him at like 22.
Even look at the names that you just had and how those offenses are centered around those players. With the 49ers, like, yeah, you're doing your thing, but we're not use you like that. Like, that's not how we're using you. We're using you is better for your long-term longevity, to be honest. The fact
but he's a wide receiver, so he wants the yards. He's like, man, it's not like he's a running back. He's like, bro, he a 1,400-yard wide receiver. I want 7 to 10 touchdowns this year. You know what I mean? But it's like, all right, if that's what you want, you're not getting that in Pittsburgh. I don't care how talented you are. You're not getting 1,400 yards.
Play NFL to do that, or a Madden superstar.
So I just think Brandon Aiyuk is August. Everybody's having a little bit of fun with this, some clickbaity, type situation. But at the end of the day, really break it down and analyze it. The best place for him to be is where he's at already. And I do think they need to give him, his fair compensation. But a trade at this time when football starts in less than a month, it's not happening. Trade's not happening. I don't believe that a trade's happening.
I think they're just like, I'll play ball, entertain it, and we'll show you. We'll do you one entertain it, field this, and show you like, yo, the timing is off. The teams, like, there's not a perfect situation. Like, it might be a situation schematically, but the money doesn't make sense. The draft capital doesn't make sense.
Well,
for the teams that might be a good schematic fit.
I think there's, for some people, you can't anything. You have to show them. They have to see it. And I think for Brandon Aiyuk, he needed to see like, oh, damn, Pittsburgh's not overpay. Oh, Cleveland's not trying to overpay. Oh, okay. So then he gets to see that, but then also to see, oh, that's the numbers that they're offering you. Here, we gave you that. We're giving you that. If they were to overpay now, some Justin Jefferson numbers, if they want to pay him in AJ Brown numbers, which is 32.5, then maybe they go ahead, they accept the trade, they let him walk, everybody wins. But we tried to tell you, we value you at this number, and they also value at a number that's similar. Come on, come back here, let's sit down and let's get this to work. Let's get this figured out. So I really think that's that, Brandon.
Yeah,
10 minutes spill, but
with that way into CeeDee Lamb, probably a situation that he was looking at, which is ironic because that deal's not done yet. And what's your?
I mean,
Hold on,
isn't done.
Pause the recording. I got people. All right.
But yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. As you're saying,
Go
CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, yeah. Just kind of dealing with that is Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys, I don't even know how this is. They love this. Like, they love the fact he's holding out, and Jerry Jones can say, we're not in a rush for you. We're not in a rush. That goes viral. ESPN eats it up. Oh, crazy. Then CD tweets LOL because he knows that they're in contract negotiations. What people don't know is that Jerry Jones is the mouthpiece that created the Dallas Cowboys and made them what they are, but he don't make the decisions anymore. This is a Stephen Jones and Will McClay show. And maybe Jerry Jones signs on the dotted line and when it's all said and done in regards to the negotiations, but he's not at the table every single day getting and sending back contracts back and forth. He's not dealing with those negotiations. I have no doubt in my mind that CeeDee Lamb will be a Dallas Cowboy. I have no doubt in my mind that he will be extended. It will be, he'll have his extension. He'll probably have it next 2 weeks. He'll probably end up being either the highest paid or second highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, depending on what he agrees on. And it'll also be a 4-year deal because that's what he wants. He doesn't want a 6-year deal at $35 million a year because the cap's going to keep on going up. Salary is going to keep on increasing. So it's no point for him to lock in a deal with the Dallas Cowboys, even though he probably plans on being a Cowboy for life, because there's going to be more money to negotiate within the next 3-4 years. So basically his age being a good agent, and they're doing the right thing. They're negotiating, and you're not going to report to camp until they give us the proper offer. In the meantime, relax, do what you got to do, stay in shape. And when it's ready for you to report. Dallas Cowboys can't win without him. So they know that. Dak knows that. The head coach knows that. So, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is going to get done. It's going to get solved. I'm confident in it. I'm glad that he's not, in the media and he's not saying anything. He's not any trades, but like, where would he go? He went to school in Oklahoma, played football in Texas his entire life.
Where would he go is crazy.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like this is where he's a Cowboy for life. He wants to be here. He just wants to get paid the money that he deserves. And those parameters are in place, which is why a lot of the Cowboy fans are impatient because they're like, well, we're waiting on, like, we already know what we're going to do. But getting took into the shed essentially for the past 6-7 years, that they're tired of it. And they want to feel like they won the deal. Day and age where the players have all the control and the agents are very, very intelligent and understand the landscape, they don't win, and the Cowboys don't because they don't out in front of it. So when you're lucky enough to draft these amazing blue chip star players that end up to pan out to be even better than you expected, this is what comes with it. This is part of it. And for the Dallas Cowboy fans out there that are watching this and maybe aren't even happy with what I'm telling you, be prepared to deal with this again next year because Micah's coming up. And after Micah, you have to pay Tyler Smith too. So stop. Every time that you get excited for hitting on a rookie or hitting on a player that's killing it, all pro in their first contract, just know that they're going to go ahead and they're going to be expecting to be paid top dollar. Trayvon Diggs, 11 interceptions. Well, guess what? He's one of the highest paid cornerbacks in the NFL. And they were even trying to heckle him with that deal. So, that got done around this time last year training camp. But yeah, they're even trying to play with Trayvon Diggs. This is what they do. They don't like to get out years ahead. They wait to the last minute and they pay the going rate.
Real quick, and what's your take on that? I know you're saying this, just a realistic Cowboys fan. You're true blood Cowboys fan. You've seen this song and over and over. But if you were in charge, when would you have given Lamb this contract?
Whenever he was willing to sign it. I understand CeeDee Lamb, they could have sent him a contract even 3 months ago, and he probably wouldn't have signed it because he's like, I'm not signing until Justin Jefferson signs. That's probably what CeeDee Lamb and his agent said. But
so it should have got done right after that was up to you. Right after Jettas.
All right, these are the parameters, and this is what I'm giving you. This is what it is, man. It's somebody who just had 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns. He's 80% of our offense. It does not go if he's not out there.
And then the extra leverage that he has is you guys traded Cooper, and that was a bad decision
for him to be in this place, for him to his position. For y'all
to get the credit of we dressed number one. Cooper doesn't have that that skin in the game for y'all. And then Michael Gallup, he just retired. Brandon Cooks, he just got hurt. You know what I mean? And then in terms of the running back situation, you guys didn't draft a running back. You guys didn't address that. So he's literally the centerpiece of that offense. So, I think it's just Jerry being Jerry. Again, like he does this, he talks, and it's like, this is him having fun with it.
It really is. And he'll tell you that because he's like going to be doing anything. And like, he's going to be outside playing in the preseason game. It's like, so for them, there's no rush. That's him trying to control the media side of it. At the end of the day, this thing's going to get done. Again, I always say when it comes to contracts in the NFL, the sooner the better, but that's not their philosophy. They want to try to see if they can work a deal, and it just doesn't work. Like, agents are smarter. They're smarter, and these players are trusting them. It's going to be what it's going to be. Hopefully, within them figured out, and he's back at the training camp, and he can get back into the groove of things. But for the most part, that's all I got when it comes to Sam and the wide receiver carousel that we're dealing with. Jamar also is now sitting out too, because he's like, I might as well just get started on my extension, because he getting the same money.
I thought I got extended like a year ago. Didn't he get extended recently?
No, he can't. He just became eligible. He just became eligible, so he's absent. Guys, these are the guys. The football, the NFL today, it's it's Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, whatever order you want to put it in. AJ Brown, we give respect to them before like some Philadelphia fan tries to hunt us down and hurt us or whatever. But AJ Brown too. So that's just is what it is with wide receivers, man. Especially when they're not even 25 yet. Not even 25 yet, man. Pay the
league's in a good place. Offensive weapons when it comes to quarterback, receivers. League's in a great place. And then we have this draft that just went down, the big three. So absent from camp amid contract talks. Coach calls it. Why do you say it like that? Like it's an injury. It's day to day.
Day. It's like the coaches being like they don't ever. Obviously, they're not going to speak out on the organization behalf, and obviously they're not going to speak out to the player. But like if you're Mike McCarthy and you're on the Cowboys don't have a good season, he's gone. He don't even have a contract. He's on a 1-year contract. You think he don't want CeeDee Lamb there for the offense? Yes, he would love for him to be there. But this is the shit he got to deal with, which is also why I have respect for Mike McCarthy, because I don't know how many coaches is dealing with the bullshit that you got to deal with when you were Dallas Cowboy head coach. So, but move on to the quarterback situation and breaking news.
Yeah, let's go ahead with that. First and foremost, JJ McCarthy. Is there any update on his ACL? It was ACL related.
So it was an MCL. It was an JJ McCarthy. I want to say that he's a season. He's a full ACL sprain. Let me see. See, pull it up right here. Yeah, done for the season. So we're going to get a whole lot of Sam Darnold. All right, buckle up. That sucks too. Though. I'm not even funny. It really is unfortunate that he got hurt, because he actually, he did look good. And that the look did have in the preseason, and it looked like that was going to be a solid pickup for the Minnesota Vikings, which, it still is. It's a season-ending injury, but year one of a 5-year deal. So, he'll have his time, and even this is a roar Minnesota Vikings anyway. So whatever happens this year happens. They'll probably have a little top 5 pick, get a solid bookend left tackle, or even get another key player for offense or defense and be ready to compete next year. So as much as it sucks for the fans to not be able to enjoy JJ to JJ, they'll in due time they're going to flourish. Like those guys are probably going to be great. People don't know this, but Justin Jefferson actually averages 119 yards, even when he's not playing with Kirk Cousins as his starting quarterback. So it doesn't matter who the quarterback is for Justin Jefferson. He still gets over 100 yards. That's just the type of wide receiver he is. One of the best to ever do it.
Facts. And then the silver lining with that is, Sam Darnold gets his chance, which, I mean, it's kind of rare for somebody who got drafted as he did to get this kind of chance in this sort of offense with the offensive mind in Kevin O'Connell. So hopefully he takes full advantage of it. I think pretty much what Sam Darnold's doing right now is he's putting out tape and his application for whatever team is going to sign him in 2025, because I think, the Vikings believe in JJ. And as Austin said, look good in the short amount of time you did see him healthy. So,
yeah, I mean, I Sam Darnold, he's to be in a situation where he's going to always get chances. I mean, he's going to always get chances for whatever reason. He's just always on somebody's team. I think this is like his third or fourth team in almost like 6 years. And, he'll be a solid backup. He always end up backup for somebody's organization.
He might. What if he has like a little Ryan Tannehill resurgence? So he got 2018 Jets. He saw some ghost. I thought it was over as soon as that.
So Warren Sharp had a tweet, and I think it was today. And basically, his quarterback percentage has never been more than 62%. The average NFL quarterback percentage is like 63%. He's never had a game where he's passed for 63%. He's never had a game. He's always been bad. But he's just aesthetically.
Did you just say 63%, like 63% of his passes?
Passes, yes.
Never had a game.
He's never had a game where he's completed more than 63% of his passes in the NFL. And but when he and someone catches it, so aesthetically pleasing to the coaching staff that they just got to give this guy another shot. He just got
it's the draft position situation. I mean, Baker class, obviously Baker just got another chance. Josh Rosen is the only quarterback that was selected in the first round that really didn't get a chance. And that was, he kind of got dealt a terrible hand in a way, but it was like a mindset thing. I felt like Josh Rosen thought he was bigger than the program. But it's like, look at Brock Purdy, who's clearly, we could say Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. But if he was a second-round pick, we'd be talking about Brock Purdy a lot differently. If Brock Purdy, for some reason, in some alternate universe, they traded up for him instead of Trey Lance, Brock Purdy's going to be the highest paid quarterback. Now people are still like, nah, it's all
they don't want to. They don't want to pay him. But you know, at the end of the day, okay. But now imagine this, like you said with Trey Lance. Say you don't pay Brock Purdy, and you go ahead and you draft Trey Lance again. You know what I mean?
They got Purdy for sure. But the point,
God blessed them and was like, look, y'all made a decision with this one right here, but we got you right here. So they're not going to play with it. And that's why these teams don't play at QB. That's why earlier in the offseason when we were talking and you were saying that Michael Penix should get to Miami and they should just draft Michael Penix, let go of Tua. I'm like, that's never going to happen because they already know Tua works. They know Tua works. I'd be here to say that he's a good quarterback or this, that, the other thing. But they just know that already functional in this offense. He's functional with the speed of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And I don't know if we want to mess that up. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we got to pay the guy. Jordan Love, the highest paid in the NFL. You know?
That situation is a little bit of an anomaly. But Sam Darnold, though, like, yeah, man, when you get drafted third, and I don't know. I feel like
if you aren't good, you aren't good. And a lot of it, like, you know what I'm saying? The guys that, like, yeah, they have this draft pedigree. So, like I said, he'll always be a backup. He's going to always have an opportunity to play in the NFL because they're never going to give up on him because when he does complete a pass, they think it's so aesthetically pleasing that they just got to give him another shot. You know? And, like, people are talking about the Cowboys and Trey Lance, and it's kind of like, yo, no one thinks this guy is special, but have you seen backup quarterbacks in the NFL? They're all bad. There's no backup quarterback in the NFL that's like, oh, yeah, he needs a starting opportunity. Oh, yeah, he's right on the starting quarterback's heels. No, that's just not what it is. And it's not that with Sam Darnold. It isn't going to be that with Trey Lance. And you know,
Trey Lance, this is the second team where he couldn't beat out the backup. Isn't he still third string? And would Lance even be getting that opportunity? If Trey Lance was drafted in the fourth round, would you have traded a fourth round pick for him?
Probably not. But you probably wouldn't have needed to.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think it's definitely a mindset thing that, we all get caught up into draft position. I mean, remember when we drafted Saquon, people were saying that we got Darnold instead just because of, positional value. But would that have worked? Who knows?
Well, if it didn't, then if it didn't, it would have been fine because y'all just would have sucked it and y'all would have drafted another quarterback the next year.
Something that you got to tell Washington. Do you have that screen grab of their past 8 years? I'm talking about quarterbacks anyway. I don't know if
Oh no, I don't have that. But yeah, I mean,
maybe we'll add up in other news and notes.
Right. But I mean, yeah, and in regards to all the quarterbacks that did debut this weekend, they all did well. Obviously, they weren't really against first team defense, all of that, and they were against vanilla defenses in regards to the shells that they were seeing and the coverages. But they didn't do bad. They didn't stink it up. It wasn't anything that anyone should be worried about. Jaden Daniels did have a nice shot to De'Ami Brown, and he also had a nice little rush for a touchdown. I think that was on fourth and goal. So, he had a solid little outing, and the Washington can be proud of him, and they deserve to be happy and look forward to the future with the quarterback. Just also, let's not get a little bit too carried away with it because, it is the second and third string, but like all these guys are capable of executing offenses, and they look like they're going to be fine in the long run. As the quarterback in the NFL, this is not easy by by any standards, like any standards at all. Quarterback is capable and he's serviceable. Just be lucky that you have one, man. Seriously, just be happy that you got a quarterback.
He's talking to the rest of y'all Cowboys fans pretty much. He's
tired. Y'all hate Dak.
Here's the thing, Austin. That's when you have a good quarterback situation for so long. You Tony Romo to him, and it's like the sky's falling. Jordan Love, highest paid, went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay Packers, depending on how old you are, you never seen them with a bad.
My best friend, yeah, I'm pretty sure my best friend of 25 years. I'm pretty sure he's never a bad quarterback. He had Brett Favre, Rodgers, and then now he got Jordan Love jersey. Like
that's a good deal. And as a Giants fan, the reason why I remember when they benched him, us as so pissed because he was the Iron Man. He didn't miss games. Yeah. Like it was like, yo, like what are y'all doing? Y'all messing up his streak. So, you got to look at teams like the Bears, who literally are like a legacy franchise that who's their go. I mean, they put the down for the 85 Bears.
Jay Cutler outside in the past probably 30 years, the best quarterback that they have had is Jay Cutler.
Nonchalant ass Jay Cutler, who you couldn't tell like if he really cared about playing, and he wasn't that good. He was good. He had the arm talent, but like you knew in the playoffs.
So, I really hope that they appreciate Caleb, and I hope it has a bad outing. And this goes for all of these teams, even in Jacksonville. Don't complain. Do not complain. If you even
you don't care. Jags fans complaining.
Jackson, complains about their quarterback when he has a bad throw. It's like, listen, man. Before Trevor Lawrence came to your franchise, y'all weren't even watchable. Nobody wanted to even see you guys play. Like at least this
who they had was Gardner, and then they had like Blaine Gabbert, and then they had
Nick Foles. They paid money for Nick Foles. Like you know what I mean? You paid money for Nick Foles for you. But you mad that Trevor Lawrence doesn't play well sometimes? He has bad games. Guess what? All quarterbacks have bad games, except for like one or two. But even they got bad games. Quarterback has bad games. The only one that is always on TV though is Dak Prescott, because the Cowboys are. Seriously though, there's naturally televised, but like Justin Herbert has a bad game. No one knows. Nobody knows. You have to go on Twitter to find. He had a bad game. Justin Herbert was outplayed by Dak Prescott. Didn't say nothing. They didn't even mention that.
Herbert's the most protected quarterback in the league by far. We'll see how he does with Harbaugh,
it's not that he's
though.
Protected. It's just it's not that he's protected. Man. It's just no one watches. No one watches the Chargers. No one watches.
It's not even watches the Chargers. It's that they don't have fans like that.
They don't have fans. Yeah.
I guess that's like a chicken and the egg type situation.
Big dog, big. It's what comes with it. And that's the thing too. People think, bro, not everybody would be built to be the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of these starting franchise quarterbacks in the league right now, they would not be able to handle what Dak Prescott has to handle on a daily basis. Like it's kind of crazy. So again, like I said, appreciate him here, man. And if he decides to bounce, I don't blame him. The Dallas Cowboy fan base does not deserve him. So
the grass isn't always greener. But
yeah.
Besides that, Bo Nix has been doing Bo Nix things, kind of what you expected to see from Bo Nix, kind of waiting, clearly wanting a quarterback, follow instructions, blase. And yeah, I mean, the JJ thing definitely, it hurts, but you know what, NFL for you, injuries. Luckily, they have third overall Sam Darnold to pick up the pieces. And wishing Jordan Addison the best as well.
Yeah. And it looks like his injury isn't that bad. It's going to be day to day. So he'll be able to play. And again, it's still going to be to watch him. I mean, like I told you, Justin Jefferson averages 119 yards, even with backup quarterbacks. Anybody that's concerned about him, don't be worried about it. Still draft them top 5 in your fantasy football drafts, your fantasy football league.
Yeah, and then, obviously they still got TJ over there. So backing up Sam Darnold now. Let me look into that real quick. I mean, it's kind of relevant. They did go 7 in Cousins. They were competitive.
Yeah, until Kirk Cousins blew out his Achilles, they were very competitive.
And they were competitive without him, which goes to your point, which yards Jefferson gets, no matter who's throwing him the ball. 1 second, where our roster? They have Nick Mullins, Darren Hall. Okay. Well, hopefully Sam Darnold stays healthy. How about that?
Yeah, let's hope for good health for one of your quarterbacks, Go Sam Darnold.
All right. Well, that's going to be the edit with news and notes. Catch us tomorrow. We'll be doing our top 25. Are we quarterback, running back, receiver? One of them for fantasy as, we wrap up the NFL here. If you're after the preseason, you're not in a serious league. So, stay tuned for that content. Make sure you like and so we'll catch you on the next one.
All right. See you guys.